live? Let's just check if I'm live. You know, YouTube needs to make it easier to figure out if you're live or not. Let me see if there's anybody in the live chat. That usually helps. Oh, hi. Somebody saying hello, Armin. I'm just going to check on my phone if I'm live. Please, if you can hear me in the live chat, tell me that everything is good so I could just start talking. I think I'm live. Yeah. Boogie Monster Mom saying hello, Armin. Hi. Is the audio there? Yeah. I think it is.
Oh, hi.
Okay, great. I can hear myself on the phone, so that means everything is good. Alright, hi guys. I'm doing more of these now, doing more live stream. Boogie Monster Mom is saying sounds good, everything is good. Inquisitive Quandary is saying good. Hi Sarah. Yeah, I'm doing more of these live streams. If you guys want to just hang out sometimes and discuss whatever you guys want to discuss in the live chat, we'll just talk about that. I don't announce these, so if you guys want to make sure that you are part of the live chat that you see here, showing up here, your comments are going to be here forever once on our videos. If you want to be part of these discussions, subscribe here, and also hit that bell thingy, because if you don't hit that bell thingy, YouTube is not going to tell you when we're live, even if you're subscribed. But when you hit the bell, make sure you select all, not just some, because then YouTube will decide which one to know. YouTube doesn't like us. YouTube is like, why are you guys talking about politics and religion and, you know, can you just guys talk about like only like fitness or recipes or like stuff like that, you know? Why you have to make it difficult for us? And you know, and then we talk about things that we want to talk about, and YouTube is like, okay, I guess I'm not going to show your subscribers that you're talking about this. And like, why? They subscribe. They said they want to see our content. YouTube was like, no, I'm going to show them something else. So then you hit that bell thing, you're like, no, please show it. And then YouTube was like, okay, maybe. And then maybe, so then you have to select bell button and be like, all of them. And YouTube might be like, okay, fine. But then even then, sometimes they don't send you the notification. So the only 100% sure way is to subscribe in our newsletter. At least you get some of our videos that way. But again, so hit that bell thingy, because it signals to YouTube that this is an important channel. And like and all that stuff. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Casey is saying, Armin, you should start playing video games. Lots of free time. Audio is good. Okay, thank you, KCA. Video games. I used to play World of Warcraft like a century ago, but not anymore. Now I just sometimes play Assassin's Creed. Just to pass, you know, I haven't played for 2 months now. Sometimes I play Assassin's Creed. But yeah, White Rabbit is saying, yep, glad to see. Let me invite Beach. Yes, bring Beach here. Medina is saying, hey Armin. Boogie Monster Mom is saying vlogging. Yeah. Or they send it. Yeah, sometimes they send it really late. You know, when I don't talk about politics and talk about like stuff that is not controversial at all, then on my social media, like on my Twitter or Facebook, then all the people that you know, follow me because of politics and religion and philosophy and everything like that, they get upset. They're like, why are you spamming me with like cooking stuff or exercise? I didn't, you know, I like, well, yeah, but sometimes I share stuff that I'm enjoying. Like, you're on my Facebook feed. If you don't want to see it, then just block me or something. Like, why do I have to talk about everything you could just ignore the things you don't want to see, okay? You could just be like, hide post, right? I'm not going to be like one-dimensional about just talking about only one thing. Hey, Chris is here. Hello, just here for a little bit on my break at work. Oh, Chris, you're still working? What do you do? How are you guys dealing with this whole coronavirus. Another thing we can't even say. Like YouTube for a time, we were like, yeah, you guys can't talk about coronavirus. Like, really? The thing that is capturing everybody is talking about coronavirus, and YouTube is like, yeah, no, you guys, like, it's so stupid. Like, CNN doesn't get, CNN, MSNBC, all those late night shows, they don't get any deprioritization for talking about the stuff that we can't talk about. It's so unfair. YouTube was supposed to be, it was supposed to be a place for people to democratize information, and all the small content creators could compete with the big content creators. And I should have done YouTube way, like, many years ago, and we would have become like a much bigger channel right now. We started YouTube late. We were focusing on Facebook, and that paid off. Like, our Facebook is like more than 2 million right now. But now for YouTube, is very late, so it's hard to grow on YouTube because the algorithm is against you. But you guys, maybe if you guys share our stuff, that will fix it, right? Beach is in here already. What are we doing with ourselves? Yeah, where's Beach? John is saying hi, everyone. Guys, how are you guys all dealing with how is the corona situation in your area? Are you guys working, not working? Are you guys nervous or not nervous? Are you staying at home? You should be staying at home. Like, how's life treating you right now? Chris is saying, I work in a welding factory. I work in the robots department. I take all the necessary care to protect myself. All right, that's good. So, are you any of you are, financially suffering because of all this, or not? I keep telling people this again. This is, you stay with me, okay? Like, don't get angry for just a few seconds while I explain this to you, okay? Because at first, what I say might seem very insensitive and horrible and controversial to say, but if you just wait for 5 seconds after that, then you might see, like, okay, maybe, yeah, that makes sense, okay? Just don't get so angry, okay? I'll explain it, and once I explain it, you can calm down, okay? It might be, I think, there is a chance, I'm not sure, okay? There is a chance that this whole coronavirus situation is a good thing that it happened. Wait, don't get angry, okay? It might have saved us. It might have saved the human race, a lot of people, right? The reason why the coronavirus happening might be a good thing, is because it maybe has prepared the planet for a disease much worse than COVID-19. Okay? It might have woken up the world. Like, imagine like something, a little bit more viral than coronavirus was happening. Like, we don't know. Like, these viruses just happen. Like, we get what the features of these viruses are random. If it was infecting people a bit more, or if the time that it didn't show any symptoms, it was a lot longer, right? This could have been extremely worse. Like, I mean, it's already very bad right now, but imagine the next virus being a lot worse. This might have been a practice run for a lot of governments to, first of all, realize that they're not ready, they're not prepared for something like this, and maybe now there's going to be a lot of pressure on them to be prepared for the next virus. It's kind of like it might act like a vaccine, not just to people, like biological vaccine, but a social vaccine to countries, so that it wakes them up, and it doesn't just like boost someone's immune system so that they're prepared for the virus next time they get infected. It might like boost the immune system of a country, like the structures and the medical equipments and all the stuff that they need, and the institutions and everything to deal with the virus. It might wake that up and make them prepared. And maybe the next, if there is a disease that is coming that is a lot worse than COVID-19, maybe because of COVID-19, the world is a little bit more ready for it. Maybe, okay? So this might have ended up being a good thing and ended up saving a whole bunch of lives. It's a practice run before a much worse disease. Chris saying, okay, I already read that. My hospital is getting flu. Many young patients under 30 very sick. Chris is saying, not financially suffering at the moment, but there's a good chance hours might be cut soon. They got rid of weekend shift and part-timers today. I'm hoping this whole thing is going to end soon. I don't know though. Bookie Monster Mom is saying, but there's still so many people ignoring what they have to do. Yeah. Chris is saying, we are very slow at work. One of our biggest contracts doesn't have anything for us to do at the moment. Ooh, that's tough. I do hear what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, good. So, did anybody in the live chat lose their mind over me saying good? So, that coronavirus might be a good thing. But by the way, like this is a good, lesson for regards to other things. Like there are a lot of other things that you might say that might seem very very controversial and insensitive. But if you think about it for a few seconds, you might be like, okay, actually it makes sense, right? This is this is why sometimes a lot of people get offended with a lot of other things I say that might seem very, very insensitive, but if you think about it, it's not. Inquisitive Quandary saying, food plant. Oh, you work at a food plant? I work at this. Is shut down. Working almost around the clock with a company that sanitizes infected locations now instead. Job security. Oh, wow. So you're great. So you find an alternative option. Good job with that. Muska saying, what are the COVID-19 symptoms? Okay, you shouldn't be asking me that. I'm not a medical expert. I mean, there's a lot of information from, check CDC. CDC has a lot of good information for it. Center of Disease Control. Weirdo, I don't know, saying, is it appropriate to ask my question here? Yes, this is a Q&A, ask me anything. So, finally, Weirdo, I don't know, the question that you wanted me to answer last week, this is the chance. Ask me now. Boogie Monster Mom is saying, usually dry cough, feeling like there's a weight on your chest, hard to breathe, fever. Boogie Monster Mom is probably right, but again, make sure that you don't, even if Boogie Monster Mom is right, if you want to get information and stuff like this, make sure you go to, CDC or World Health Organization or stuff like that. Like, make sure that you don't, even if I tell you something health related, even if I'm right, even if I'm right, you shouldn't just trust me because I'm telling you this, right? Maybe me telling you is a good thing because it encourages you to go check. For example, if I tell you that sleeping a lot boosts your immune system, so try to sleep more, okay? It's okay for me to tell you that even though I'm not a medical expert, but you shouldn't just trust me because I told you that, right? You shouldn't trust me. But it's good for me to tell you that because it might encourage you to be like, okay, let me actually look this up. Okay? Yeah, you should look it up. You shouldn't believe me. I'm not a medical expert. And you go check. Just make sure you go check. Now they're saying fever. And make sure you actually learn how to do research, okay? There's a good crash course on research, on how to do proper research. On a YouTube channel called Crash Courses. They have a playlist on how to do online investigation. You guys should check that out. Susanna is here. Hi, Susanna. Well, let me see. Hi, Susanna saying, hi, Armin. Hi, everyone. Hi, Susanna. 613 is saying, 30% of people lose their sense of smell and taste, according to the senior doctor in Korea I saw on YouTube. Again, guys, make sure you don't just trust these comments. You go check yourself. CDC, I think it's a good source for all this information. Weirdo, I don't know, is saying, what do you think of white nationalist movement? Would you support Defend Europa organization on social media or on YouTube? I don't believe in any movement that supports a group of people based on their ethnicity. So no, I do not support that. It doesn't have to be white nationalism. If it's black nationalism, purple nationalism, green nationalism, I don't support any of them. Muska saying, I work in a public. If you have more specific question. We do a follow-up question regarding what I said. Post that. Muscal saying, I work in a public library. I haven't been to work since March 15, but I get paid. I go back to work after April 30th, but who knows the exact date. Wow, your employer is very kind. You're still getting paid even though that's nice. Lucky you, Muscal. Weirdo, I don't know saying, I got disconnected. Gotta post again just in case ain't spamming you. Okay, I already read that question. Okay, Inquisitive Quandary saying, hi Susanna. Okay, that's not for me. Just remember, some people are asympathetic. Yeah, I don't know how to say that, but basically I know what it means. Asymptomatic. Yeah, asymptomatic means that they have the disease, but they're not showing the symptom, but still can transmit it to others. Some people have all of us here right now might have the coronavirus. We don't know. We might not be showing the symptoms. Some people have very mild symptoms as well. This is why social distancing is so important. Exactly. Weirdo, I don't know, I say, it supports Western Europe keeping their culture. First of all, white nationalism, it doesn't really support Western Europe's keeping their culture, because Western Europe's culture is Enlightenment values, right? I mean, that's one of... Okay, first of all, the values of Western Europe is not just one thing. There are many different values there are many different culture coming from Western Europe, and again, but we have to okay, so weirdo, I don't know, okay, we don't, we have to define what we're talking about here before we could address it, right? When we say culture, we're usually talking about two completely separate things, right? And I don't even know why we have the same word for them, because they shouldn't even be the same. They're not even the same thing. Sometimes when we're talking about culture, we're talking about dance, music, art, food, fashion, poetry, all those beautiful things. And that's one definition of a culture. And the second definition of culture is values, and way of living, right? And these two are completely separate. So with regards to the first definition of culture, I don't see why that doesn't even need defending. That's cultures change, they get mixed, they travel. Every culture that every country enjoys anywhere on earth, it wasn't not there from the beginning. They got it from other places. It got mixed with some other people cultures. It came, even the most ancient cultures came from cultures before them. So cultures travel, cultures change, cultures mix, and the more of it you have in one place, the better it is. You enjoy. There's more. It's better to have multiple cultures. In that sense, multiculturalism is great. It's because it just means more art, more food, more dance, more different ways of dancing, more the fashion. That is just fun, and the whole world sharing that with each other is just a good thing, right? The second definition of culture, which is values and a way of living, standards, that's not multiculturalism in that sense is a bad thing, because there are superior values and there are inferior values, right? I don't want anybody to share their culture of wife beating with, that's not a good culture, that's not a good value, and it should not be shared. It should just die. It should not only we don't want that to go to North America or to Western Europe, we don't want that anywhere, right? It's not just defending some countries against this culture. It's about defeating it where they already exist as well, right? It's not about defending the West. This is about defending humanity, okay? And when it comes to, so now when we're talking about the second one, when it comes to values, if you're talking about Western Europe, Western Europe, if you're talking about culture in that definition, has many different cultures, and a lot of them are contradicting each other, right? So a lot of people will say like, oh, Western culture, Western values, let's call them Western values, because the first definition of culture, we're not talking about it. We're talking about just values. If we're talking about Western values, what are we exactly talking about? Because Nazism is a Western value, okay? Marx was from Germany. So communism is also a Western value, right? So we have communism as a Western value, Nazism is a Western value, and Enlightenment is also a Western value, and they contradict each other, right? These are all Western values. So, Enlightenment values that are, the reason why Enlightenment values we call them Western values is not because some people might find it unfair, because if you look at a lot of these values, they were addressed or hinted to, or some other philosophers around the world talked about them before. But to be fair to Western Europe, they nowhere else they got this popularized and this much detail and this much nuance and this much. They weren't discussed in such detail, like the level of, they weren't born in Western Europe, but they matured in Western Europe. So it's kind of fair to if we're saying Nazism is a Western value, we should be fair and say Enlightenment values are also Western values, okay? But the thing is that just like communism didn't stay in the West, and it spread and infected the rest of the planet, Enlightenment values also don't need to belong just to the West. Enlightenment values can spread, and they have spread, and if you can see every other country that used them, it's really benefited for them. It belongs to the world, right? So when you talk about white nationalism, Enlightenment values do not belong to an ethnicity. These ideas work for everybody. They belong to the world. So I don't understand how you consider white nationalism a defense of certain culture. Okay? The reason why Enlightenment the way you win the battle of these values is by going on the offense rather than playing defense. Like, oh no, don't bring your values here. Our values are superior. Why don't you attack? Why don't you go to the place these values are coming at you and be like, not only we're not going to accept your values, we're going to change your values where the place you're coming from, right? Go at them. Anyways. Let me see. I'm craving hot chocolate drink. Oh, great. Now I'm craving it too. Thanks, Nader. Inquisitive Quandary is saying it's awkward asking other people to shill links, but this is important. Nader saying they're offering 5K a week in New York. What? I don't know. I don't think that's true. In my line of work. Oh, okay. Weirdo, and they're saying it's not really white nationalism, it's more ethnic nationalism. Some people just say white instead because the cultures they focus on are located in Europe. Well, no, the cultures that okay, from all the Western values, the only ones that are worth defending are the Enlightenment values, and they're not focused on Europe anymore. I mean, just compare South Korea with North Korea. One of them has Enlightenment values, the other one doesn't, right? It has nothing to do with any ethnicity, okay? It belongs to the world. They work for everybody. Protecting culture is just a nonsense claim to cover racism. Not necessarily. Like, okay, so if by culture you mean value, I'm all for protecting certain values. But these values don't belong to any ethnicity. They belong to the world. You're going to force people to speak English and have English signs? I don't think Weirdo, said that. Boogie Monster Mom saying might have to write that down, but there's okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Weirdo, saying I don't see bad values as much as traditions, rather pray to Allah and cook shepherd's pie than be secular and cook curry. Wait, okay, so you actually care about the first definition of culture? You care about just the traditions, the dancing and the art and the cooking. If you prefer shepherd's pie over curry, you could always just eat shepherd's pie. You can eat shepherd's pie even if you're in the Middle East. Okay, you can eat shepherd's pie in Tehran. So if there are more traditions around you, that doesn't really force you to. You could pick any of them you want. It's actually when it comes to traditions, the more of them around me, the better it is. Because I can pick and choose which ones I like. If you don't like a certain art or you don't like a certain music, you just don't listen to it. But at least now you have more options. How long have we been going? I remember I said we shouldn't keep these very long. Okay. Profil is saying, yeah, I don't understand why people have a problem with more. If we're talking about culture from the first definition I mentioned, which is traditions, why mixing and matching that? Not only we shouldn't have any problem with that, it's just futile to have any problem with that at all. Because throughout, like, do you guys think, like, if you're in the UK, do you think that culture that you are now trying to defend, the tradition that you're trying to defend, do you think it has always been like that? They have always changed. If you manage to not change it, that's a weird thing. That, like, where do you think those traditions came from? Do you think they were born on that island? They all came from somewhere else. Traditions mix and change all the time. That's just history. Show me an example that they haven't changed. Why is that even worth defending? If you like a certain recipe of food, just save it somewhere on your computer and just make that. Or I'm pretty sure if they come and make more curry and sashimi and Indian food or whatever, or kebabs in your neighborhood, they're not going to shut down, fish and fries or whatever English people eat. They're not gonna be they're not gonna close them down because there's sashimi in your neighborhood. You just have more to choose from. Why would that be a bad thing? That's a great thing. Profil is saying Muslims are not understanding seriousness of coronavirus here in India. Messages are being sent that Allah will protect us from coronavirus. Okay, I don't agree with making such general terms. There are a lot of Muslims that are not taking it seriously, and religion is definitely a problem and is not helping at all. But it's also a lot of Christians and a lot of Jews also, a lot of Hindus as well that are not taking it seriously. And for all of these groups, I've seen examples how religion is being harmful. And yes, with Muslims, it's also being extremely harmful. But there's also a lot of Muslims that are taking it seriously. So when you say sentences like that, when you say Muslims are not understanding seriousness of coronavirus, it's better to say many Muslims instead of saying Muslims, because it just sounds quite general. We lose our weirdo. I don't know, saying we lose our tradition. Okay, but first of all, if you think you're going to lose your tradition, I could tell you that your ancestors who had those traditions, okay, they also used those traditions to replace someone else's tradition before them, okay? All the traditions that you're enjoying right now in place you are, they came at a point and replaced something before them. And it's not a tragedy, okay? Oh, wow, we got a super chat by Nader. Thank you, Nader. Nader saying we should use... Alright, is it freezing? My computer is freezing. We should use this illness to see that we're all connected. Please learn to love and appreciate each other. We're trapped on this earth together. Yeah, that sounds good. I agree with that. And I'm not just saying that because I got a super chat. My computer is acting up. I'm going to use it. Hopefully the super chat is going to help me to at some point buy a new laptop. Thank you. By the way, if you guys want to support us, because Atheist Republic is losing patrons because of this whole coronavirus thing. So please, link is in the description. Do not support Atheist Republic financially if you're suffering financially in any way. So do not support us financially. Do not support us financially if you're facing difficult times. But if you can afford it and you're not, please support us financially if you're comfortable with your finances and everything, because we have lost a lot of people in our Patreon because of the coronavirus. So if you could give up a few bucks every month, link is in the description. Mars is saying core values of certain cultures can be based in forms of bigotry. The caste system, for example, those are incompatible with Enlightenment values. Yes. If some, exactly. Mars is saying if someone wants to defend bigotry because it's part of our culture, that then it doesn't belong in a place that celebrates the value of enlightenment. Yeah, if when it comes to the second definition of culture, racism is one of those that needs to be replaced and defeated. Why is my computer acting up like this? I don't know. This is weird. I'm gonna end this soon because my computer is gonna shut down. Susanna is saying remind people to like and subscribe. Yes, like and subscribe. Thank you, Susanna, for that. Appreciate that. I don't know, Susanna is always. It's always great to have you here. I don't know what I would do if you were in here. Like and subscribe. This is a YouTube rule that I have to tell you guys because a lot of you don't do it unless I remind you. Okay, I'm gonna just end it here because I'm getting technical difficulties. Love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. And talk to you guys again soon. Bye bye.